Your reactions are creating your reality. Imagine waking up tomorrow with the same job, the same people, the same problems, and the same responsibilities, but feeling completely different. Not because the world changed. Because you did. The greatest prison is not difficult circumstances. They are automatic reactions. Most people believe stress comes from life. It doesn't. Stress comes from how the mind responds to life. Pressure doesn't break you. Your reaction to pressure does. Criticism doesn't destroy your confidence. Your reaction to criticism does. Failure doesn't stop your progress. Your reaction to failure does. The strongest people are not those who avoid chaos. They are the people who remain calm inside chaos. Every single day you are given hundreds of opportunities to choose between reacting emotionally and responding intentionally. That choice determines your confidence, your relationships, your success, your peace. This audiobook is about taking back that choice. Because when you master your reactions, you master your life. Chapter 1, Stop Reacting Automatically. There is one habit that quietly controls millions of lives. It isn't laziness. It isn't fear. It isn't even a lack of intelligence. It's an automatic reaction. Most people don't live consciously. They react unconsciously. Something happens, and before they even realize it, they've already become angry, anxious, defensive, frustrated, or discouraged. Someone criticizes them. They react. Someone ignores them. They react. Traffic gets worse. They react. A mistake happens at work. They react. Their plans fall apart. They react. Day after day. Week after week. Year after year. Then they wonder why life feels exhausting. Here's the truth. Life is not wearing you down as much as your automatic reactions are. Read that again. Life is not your biggest enemy. Automatic reactions are. Because every reaction steals something. It steals your focus. It steals your confidence. It steals your energy. It steals your peace. And most of the time, you don't even notice it's happening. That's what makes it dangerous. You think you're making choices. But many of your choices were made years ago. Your mind simply repeats them. That's why this chapter matters. Because before you can master your emotions, before you can build discipline, before you can become mentally strong, you must first stop reacting automatically. That is where real change begins. Remember this phrase. Pause first. Power follows the pause. Say it again. Pause first. Power follows the pause. That's the key. Think about the last time someone upset you. How quickly did it happen? Probably within seconds. Maybe even faster. Before your logical mind had a chance to speak. Your emotional mind had already taken over. Your heartbeat changed. Your muscles tightened. Your breathing shifted. Your thoughts raced. Your words came out. And afterward, you wished you had handled it differently. Sound familiar? That happens because your brain loves efficiency. It builds habits. Habits save energy. If you've reacted with anger 100 times, your brain wants reaction number 101 to happen even faster. If you've worried every time uncertainty appears, your brain wants worry to become automatic. If you've doubted yourself whenever something difficult appears, self-doubt becomes the default setting. Your brain isn't asking, what's the wisest response? It's asking, what's familiar? That's an important difference. Because familiarity feels safe. Even when it's hurting you. The brain seeks comfort. Not wisdom. Comfort says, do what you've always done. Wisdom says, choose what actually serves you. Comfort says, get angry. Wisdom says, stay calm. Comfort says, defend yourself. Wisdom says, listen first. Comfort says, quit. Wisdom says, keep going. Which voice have you been following? Be honest. Not with me. With yourself. Because honesty creates change. Excuses create repetition. That's the key. Here's something most people never realize. Every reaction is practice. Every single one. When you explode with anger, you're practicing anger. When you panic, you're practicing panic. When you complain, you're practicing complaining. When you blame, you're practicing blame. The brain learns through repetition, not intention. You don't become patient by wishing. You become patient by practicing patience. You don't become calm by reading quotes. You become calm by choosing calm repeatedly. That's how habits are built. Small decisions, repeated often. Imagine walking across a grassy field. The first time, there is no path. Walk the same direction every day. Soon a trail appears. Walk it for years. Now it becomes the easiest route. Your thoughts work the same way. Your emotions work the same way. Your reactions work the same way. The path you've walked the most becomes the path your brain prefers. But here's the good news. Paths can change. Old habits can fade. New habits can grow. That's why you're here. You are not trapped. You are trained. And what has been trained can be retrained. You have a choice. Never forget that. You have a choice. Let's destroy one of the biggest lies people tell themselves. I just have a short temper. No. You've practiced reacting quickly. I'm naturally anxious. No. You've practiced anxious thinking. I'm just an emotional person. No. You've practiced emotional responses. Notice the difference. One sounds permanent. The other sounds changeable. That's because it is. You are not your habits. You are the person repeating your habits. And if you can repeat them, you can replace them. That should give you hope. Not false hope. Real hope. Because transformation begins the moment you stop identifying with your reactions. Instead of saying, I am angry, say, I notice anger. Instead of saying, I am anxious, say, I notice anxiety. Instead of saying, I am overwhelmed, say, I notice overwhelm. Why? Because observers make decisions. Victims make excuses. Become the observer. Watch your emotions without immediately obeying them. That's strength. That's maturity. That's growth. Now let's talk about the pause. Most people underestimate it. A pause feels small, but it changes everything. Think of a professional athlete. The crowd is screaming. Pressure is everywhere. The clock is running out. Yet the best players slow themselves down internally. Why? Because panic creates mistakes. Calm creates precision. Your life works the same way. Someone insults you. Pause. You receive disappointing news. Pause. Your plans collapse. Pause. You feel fear. Pause. Your child misbehaves. Pause. Your coworker blames you unfairly. Pause. Pause first. Power follows the pause. That isn't just a motivational phrase. It's practical. The pause interrupts habits. It creates space. Inside that space, you regain control. Inside that space, you remember your values. Inside that space, you stop becoming a prisoner of impulse. Never underestimate 5 seconds. 5 seconds can save a friendship. 5 seconds can save a career. 5 seconds can save a marriage. 5 seconds can save years of regret. That's the key. Here's an exercise. For the next 24 hours, don't try to change your life. Just observe your reactions. Notice them. Notice what triggers frustration. Notice what creates anxiety. Notice what creates defensiveness. Notice how often your phone changes your mood. Notice how quickly impatience appears. Don't judge yourself. Observe yourself. Awareness always comes before improvement. If you don't see the pattern, you cannot change the pattern. Most people skip awareness. They jump straight to self-criticism. That doesn't work. You cannot hate yourself into becoming disciplined. You build discipline through awareness. One reaction at a time. One pause at a time. One better choice at a time. That's how real growth happens. Not overnight. Repeatedly. Remember this. The strongest person in the room isn't always the loudest. It isn't the richest. It isn't the smartest. It's often the person who refuses to surrender control of their emotions. Think about someone who remains calm while everyone else is panicking. How do they appear? Confident. Capable. Trustworthy. Why? Because emotional stability creates influence. People trust calm. People follow calmness. People respect calm. You don't need to dominate people. You need to master yourself. That is real power. Anyone can lose control. Few people can keep it. Become one of those people. You don't need their permission. You need your own commitment. There will be days when you fail. Accept that. You will react. You will lose patience. You will say something you wish you hadn't. It will happen. The goal isn't perfection. The goal is progress. Every time you catch yourself faster, you're improving. Every time you pause 1 second longer, you're improving. Every time you choose understanding instead of anger, you're improving. Don't ignore those victories. Small victories become powerful habits. Powerful habits become strong character. Strong character builds an extraordinary life. One decision at a time. One pause at a time. One response at a time. As this chapter comes to an end, remember the lesson that changes everything. Your first emotional impulse is not your destiny. It is only your conditioning. Your response is your true choice. That difference will shape the rest of your life. From today forward, stop asking, why do I keep reacting like this? Instead ask, what response would the person I want to become choose? That single question can redirect your future. Because every response is casting a vote for the person you're becoming. Choose wisely. Choose intentionally. Choose repeatedly. You have a choice. That's the key. And never forget the principle that will guide everything that follows in this audiobook. Pause first. Power follows the pause. In the next chapter, you'll discover why mastering your reactions isn't enough if your own mind is constantly working against you. Before you can control your emotions consistently, you must learn to control the thoughts that create them. That's where true inner strength begins. Chapter 2, Control Your Mind Before It Controls You. In the last chapter, you learned something most people never truly understand. Your reactions are not fixed, they are trained, and whatever has been trained can be retrained. That changes everything, because if your reactions can change, your life can change. But before you master your reactions, you must master the place where every reaction begins, your mind. Everything starts there. Every emotion, every decision, every habit, every success, every failure, long before you speak, your mind speaks. Long before you act, your mind acts. The conversation inside your head becomes the direction of your life. That's why controlling your mind is not optional. It's essential. You have a choice. Most people never realize they're living on mental autopilot. They wake up, grab their phone, read the news, check social media, compare themselves to strangers, read complaints, read arguments, read negativity. Then they wonder why they feel anxious before breakfast. It isn't magic, it's momentum. Your mind moves in the direction you repeatedly push it. Point 1 thought becomes another. Point 1 worry creates another worry. Point 1 fear creates another fear. Point 1 doubt attracts 10 more doubts. That is emotional momentum. Imagine standing at the top of a snowy mountain. You pick up a tiny snowball. You barely notice it, then you push it downhill. At first, nothing dramatic happens, but it keeps rolling. It gets larger. Heavier, faster. Soon it becomes something impossible to stop. Negative thinking works exactly the same way. Point 1 small thought. I'm probably not good enough. Then another. They're better than me, the another. I'll probably fail, the another. Maybe I should quit. Nothing outside has changed, only your thinking, yet your emotions now feel completely different. That's the danger. The mind doesn't simply produce thoughts. It builds momentum. And momentum determines direction. That's why you cannot afford to ignore your thinking. You have a choice. Most people believe they are victims of their thoughts. They're not. They are victims of believing every thought. There's a difference. Your mind is constantly generating ideas. Some are useful, some are creative, some are wise. Many are completely useless. Some are simply wearing a convincing disguise. Here's the mistake. People assume that because they think something it must be true. It isn't. A thought is not evidence. A thought is not reality. A thought is simply a thought. That's the key. You are the observer, not every thought. Say it again. You are the observer, not every thought. Point 1 more time. You are the observer, not every thought. Those words have the power to change your life. Imagine sitting beside a river. Leaves float past you on the water. Some are green, some are brown, some are large, some are tiny. Do you jump into the river every time a leaf passes? Of course not. You simply watch. Thoughts should be treated the same way. They appear, they pass, you observe, you choose. The problem is that most people don't observe. They attach themselves to every passing thought. A fearful thought arrives. They believe it. An angry thought arrives. They obey it. A jealous thought arrives. They become it. Hours later they feel emotionally exhausted. Why? Because they never learned to observe. They only reacted. You don't have to live like that anymore. You have a choice. Let's look at how quickly one negative thought multiplies. Imagine your manager walks past you without saying hello. Immediately your mind says, they are upset with me. A minute later, maybe I did something wrong. 5 minutes later, what if I'm getting fired? By lunchtime, I'm never appreciated. By evening, my career is going nowhere. Notice something, not one of those conclusions came from evidence, they came from assumptions. Your emotions reacted to a story your mind invented. This happens every single day. Someone doesn't reply to your text. They're ignoring me. Reality, maybe they're driving. Maybe they're working, maybe they simply forgot. Your friend cancels dinner. They don't value me. Reality, maybe they're exhausted, maybe their child is sick, maybe something unexpected happened. Your partner seems quiet. They must be angry. Reality, maybe they're thinking, maybe they're tired, maybe they had a difficult day. Your mind fills in missing information. Unfortunately, it often fills those gaps with fear. Why? Because your brain was designed to protect you. Thousands of years ago, assuming danger helped people survive. Today, that same system often creates unnecessary stress. Your brain isn't trying to make you peaceful, it's trying to keep you alive. Understanding this changes everything. Your brain isn't your enemy, but it shouldn't be your boss either. That's the key. You become the leader, not the follower. Strong people don't believe every thought, they investigate it. Weak thinking asks, why if everything goes wrong? Strong thinking asks, what facts do I actually have? Weak thinking says, always fail. Strong thinking says, for failed before, and I've also succeeded. Weak thinking says, nobody respects me. Strong thinking asks, is that really true? Facts create freedom, assumptions create anxiety. Remember that. Facts create freedom, assumptions create anxiety. You have a choice. Start questioning your own mind, not because your mind is bad, because your mind is biased. It exaggerates, it predicts, it assumes, it catastrophizes. Listen carefully to the language you use inside your own head. I always mess things up. Always. Never get opportunities. Never. Everyone is against me. Everyone. Nothing ever works. Nothing. Words matter. Absolute thinking creates absolute suffering. Reality is almost never that extreme. Instead of saying, always fail, try saying, attempt didn't work. Instead of, I'll never improve, say, still learning. Instead of, this is impossible, say, is difficult. Those aren't positive lies, they're accurate truths, and accurate thinking builds emotional stability. That's the key. Your goal isn't blind optimism, your goal is objective thinking. Objective thinking asks, what actually happened? Not, what did my emotions imagine happened? Your emotions deserve respect, but they don't deserve complete authority, because emotions change, facts don't. Think about a time you were convinced something terrible was about to happen. Maybe you worried all night before an interview, maybe you imagined embarrassment before giving a presentation, maybe you expected rejection before asking someone for help, then the moment arrived. And it wasn't nearly as bad as your imagination predicted. Your mind suffered twice, once in imagination, once in reality. Usually the imagination was worse. How much of your life has been spent fighting imaginary battles? How many sleepless nights? How many anxious mornings? How many conversations did you are in your head that never happened? How much energy has been wasted preparing for disasters that never arrived? Too much, far too much. Stop paying interest on problems you don't even have yet. You have a choice. Another dangerous habit is rumination, thinking, repeating, replaying, rehearsing, again, and again, and again. Many people mistake rumination for problem solving. They're completely different. Problem solving ends with action. Rumination ends with exhaustion. If you've been thinking about the same issue for 3 days without taking action, you're probably not solving it, you're feeding it. Imagine scratching a wound every hour. Will it heal? No, it gets worse. Rumination is emotional scratching. The wound never closes because you never leave it alone. Sometimes the strongest thing you can do is stop thinking about something that no longer deserves your attention, not because it doesn't matter, because your peace matters more. Remember this, attention is fuel. Whatever receives your attention grows stronger. Feed fear, fear grows. Feed anger, anger grows. Feed resentment, resentment grows. Feed gratitude, gratitude grows. Feed discipline, discipline grows. Feed courage, courage grows. Your attention is one of your greatest assets, spend it wisely. Protect it fiercely. Another powerful habit is learning to pause before believing your first thought. Your first thought is often emotional. Your second thought can be intentional. Someone criticizes you. Your first thought says, they are attacking me. Pause, your second thought asks, is there anything useful I can learn? Someone rejects your idea, your first thought says, I'm not good enough. Pause. Your second thought asks, how can I improve? Someone succeeds before you, your first thought says, I'm falling behind. Pause, your second thought says, their success doesn't limit mine. That pause changes everything. That's where emotional maturity begins, not in controlling every thought that I am choosing which thoughts deserve your attention. Remember the phrase, you are the observer, not every thought. When fear appears, observe it. When doubt appears, observe it. When anger appears, observe it. You don't have to become every emotion your mind produces. Clouds pass through the sky. The sky remains. Thoughts pass through the mind. You remain. The observer remains. The thinker changes. That's your strength. That's your freedom. That's your power. The people who seem mentally unshakable aren't free from negative thoughts. They simply refuse to let those thoughts become permanent residents. They notice them, question them, challenge them, then let them go. That is discipline. That is emotional intelligence. That is inner strength. And it's available to anyone willing to practice, including you. Because you have a choice. Every morning, every conversation, every setback, every disappointment, every success, you have a choice. Believe every thought or examine every thought, react automatically or respond intentionally, live inside fear or live inside facts. That choice belongs to you. Always, never forget the lesson from this chapter. Your mind is an incredible servant, but it is a terrible master. Lead it, question it, train it. Refuse to surrender your peace to every passing thought. Chapter 3, Stop giving other people remote control over your emotions. In the last chapter, you learned one of the most powerful truths about emotional mastery. Your thoughts are not your identity. They are not your commands. They are not your reality. You learn to pause, to question, to replace assumptions with facts. Most importantly, you learn this simple phrase, you are the observer, not every thought. Now we're going one step further. Because even if you learn to control your thoughts, there's another trap waiting for you. Other people. Most people spend their entire lives giving strangers, co-workers, family members, friends, and even people on the internet complete control over how they feel. One compliment makes them happy. One criticism ruins their week. One ignored message creates anxiety. One rude comment creates anger. One disappointed look destroys their confidence. Think about that. Someone else changes your mood. Without asking permission. Someone else determines whether you have a good day. Without even realizing it. That's not emotional strength. That's emotional dependence. And dependence always comes with a cost. The truth is uncomfortable. But it can also set you free. No one can control your emotions unless you hand them the remote. That's the key. Keep your emotional reins in your own hands. Say it again. Keep your emotional reins in your own hands. One more time. Keep your emotional reins in your own hands. Those words are simple. But if you live by them, your life changes. Imagine sitting in your living room. You're watching television. Suddenly, a complete stranger walks into your house, grabs the remote, and starts changing every channel. Comedy. News. Sports. Cartoons. Back and forth. Would you tolerate that? Of course not. You would immediately take the remote back. Yet every single day, millions of people do exactly that with their emotions. Someone criticizes them. Channel changed. Someone ignores them. Channel changed. Someone gets promoted. Channel changed. Someone posts a perfect vacation online. Channel changed. Someone leaves a negative comment. Channel changed. By the end of the day, they've experienced dozens of emotional shifts, all controlled by other people. Then they wonder why they feel mentally exhausted. Because they surrendered control. You have a choice. Take the remote back. Let's start with one of the biggest emotional traps. The need for approval. Many people spend years trying to be liked by everyone. They change how they speak. They change how they dress. They change their opinions. They avoid difficult conversations. They say yes when they want to say no. They apologize when they did nothing wrong. They shrink themselves to fit comfortably into someone else's expectations. Here's the problem. No matter how hard you try, someone will still dislike you. Someone will misunderstand you. Someone will criticize you. Someone will judge you. Not because you're doing something wrong. Because that's what people do. You cannot build a peaceful life while chasing universal approval. It doesn't exist. Think about the most respected people in history. Every one of them had critics. Every one of them faced rejection. Every one of them was misunderstood. Success doesn't eliminate criticism. It attracts it. That's the key. You don't need everyone's approval. You only need your own integrity. You don't need their permission. Say that to yourself. You don't need their permission. You don't need permission to grow. You don't need permission to change. You don't need permission to dream bigger. You don't need permission to protect your peace. You don't need permission to say no. The moment you stop asking the world for permission, you begin living freely. Now let's talk about criticism. Most people hear criticism and immediately assume something is wrong with them. Not always. Sometimes criticism is useful. Sometimes it's necessary. Sometimes it helps you improve. But much of the criticism you'll receive says more about the speaker than it does about you. Think about two people looking at the same painting. One loves it. The other hates it. Did the painting change? No. Only the observers changed. The same thing happens with people. One person admires your confidence. Another calls you arrogant. One person appreciates your honesty. Another says you're too direct. One person loves your ambition. Another says you work too much. Who is right? Neither. They're describing their own perspective, not your identity. Remember this. People don't see the world as it is. They see the world as they are. An insecure person often sees confidence as arrogance. An angry person often assumes bad intentions. A fearful person often criticizes courage. A jealous person often attacks success. That's why you cannot build your identity from other people's opinions. Their opinions are filtered through their experiences, not yours. You have a choice. Listen. Evaluate. Learn if necessary. Then move forward. Don't carry every opinion like it's a life sentence. Imagine walking through a crowded city. Hundreds of people are talking. Some conversations are kind. Some are negative. Some are completely unrelated to you. Would you stop and respond to every voice you hear? Of course not. So why respond to every opinion you encounter? Not every opinion deserves your attention. Not every comment deserves your energy. Not every criticism deserves a response. Silence is often strength. Moving forward is often the best answer. Another trap is comparison. Social media has made comparison easier than ever. You see someone's success, someone's house, someone's relationship, someone's business, someone's vacation. Then your mind quietly whispers, "You're behind." Really? Whom behind? Life isn't a race against strangers. It's a journey toward becoming your best self. Comparison steals peace because you're measuring your beginning against someone else's highlight reel. You don't know their struggles. You don't know their failures. You don't know their sacrifices. You only see the polished version. That's not reality. Stop comparing your everyday life to someone else's best moments. You have a choice. Compete with who you were yesterday, not who someone else appears to be today. That is a competition you can actually win. Let's talk about moods. Have you ever noticed how quickly someone else's bad mood affects your own? A coworker is frustrated. Now you're frustrated. A family member is stressed. Now you're stressed. Someone speaks harshly. Now you're carrying that anger for hours. Why? Because emotions are contagious. But contagion isn't destiny. You don't have to catch every emotional virus around you. Imagine walking through the rain. You use an umbrella. Why? Because you understand the weather isn't under your control. But your preparation is. Other people's moods are emotional weather. Some days you'll encounter sunshine. Some days you'll encounter storms. You cannot control the weather. But you can carry an umbrella. Your umbrella is emotional discipline. Your umbrella is awareness. Your umbrella is choosing your response. That's the key. Never let someone else's storm become your permanent climate. Keep your emotional reins in your own hands. Suppose someone speaks to you disrespectfully. You have options. You can explode. You can absorb their negativity. You can spend the entire day replaying the conversation. Or you can recognize that their behavior belongs to them. Your response belongs to you. That's emotional maturity. Remember, someone else's behavior is information. Your behavior is your responsibility. Those are two different things. People often say, "They made me angry." No. They gave you something to respond to. You chose anger. That may sound harsh, but it's empowering. Because your emotions belong to your choices. Then your peace also belongs to your choices. You have a choice. There will always be difficult people. People who complain. Protect your peace. Not because you're weak. Because your energy is valuable. Every unnecessary argument costs attention. Every emotional reaction costs focus. Every resentment costs peace. Those costs add up. Stop paying them. Here's another powerful truth. Confidence is not built when everyone applauds you. Confidence is built when someone doubts you and you keep moving anyway. Confidence is built when you don't receive recognition but continue doing the work. Confidence is built when criticism doesn't stop your mission. Confidence comes from self-respect, not public approval. When your confidence depends on compliments, it will disappear when compliments stop. When your confidence depends on your character, no one can take it. That's real confidence. That's emotional independence. And emotional independence creates freedom. It allows you to make difficult decisions. To say no without guilt. To leave unhealthy relationships. To start new goals. To chase meaningful dreams. Not because everyone agrees, but because you know who you are. You don't need their permission. Never forget that. There will always be people who misunderstand your intentions. There will always be people who disagree with your decisions. There will always be people who expect you to remain the version of yourself that made them comfortable. You are not responsible for staying small so other people feel secure. You are responsible for becoming the person you were created to become. Growth often disappoints people who benefited from your limitations. Accept that. Keep growing anyway. Keep moving anyway. Keep your emotional reins in your own hands. That phrase isn't just a reminder. It's a lifestyle. It means refusing to let gossip decide your confidence. It means refusing to let criticism define your worth. It means refusing to let someone else's bad morning become your bad day. It means refusing to surrender your peace for temporary approval. You have a choice. Chapter 4, Train yourself to stay calm under pressure. Pressure changes people. Or at least, that's what most people believe. But that belief is wrong. Pressure doesn't create a new version of you. Pressure reveals the version that already exists. Think about it. When deadlines get closer. When money gets tight. When someone criticizes you. When everything seems to go wrong at once. What happens? Do you stay steady? Or do you panic? Do you think clearly? Or do your emotions take control? Here's the truth. Pressure is a spotlight. It shines on your habits. Not your potential. Not your intelligence. Not your dreams. Your habits. That's why two people can walk into the exact same situation and produce completely different results. One becomes overwhelmed. The other becomes focused. One complains. The other one solves. One reacts. The other responds. The difference isn't talent. The difference is training. That's the key. You don't rise to the level of your hopes. You fall to the level of your habits. Read that again in your mind. You don't rise to the level of your hopes. You fall to the level of your habits. Pressure simply removes the mask. It strips away comfort. It exposes whatever you've practiced. If you've practiced panicking, you'll panic. If you've practiced blame, you'll blame me. If you've practiced calmness, you'll remain calm. That's why this chapter isn't about avoiding pressure. You can't. Life won't allow it. Pressure is coming. The only question is this: will you be ready? You have a choice. Every single day. Most people train to stress without realizing it. Every notification they instantly answer. Every disagreement, they immediately argue. Every inconvenience they exaggerate. Every delay they complain about. They're rehearsing emotional reactions. Again. And again. And again. Then they wonder why they lose control during major challenges. Because they've been practicing losing control. Your brain doesn't know the difference between practice and reality. It simply repeats what you've repeated before. That's why repetition matters. That's the key. If you want calm during difficult moments, you must practice calm during ordinary moments. Don't wait for the emergency. Train before it arrives. Athletes don't learn during the championship. Firefighters don't learn inside the fire. Pilots don't learn after the engine fails. They prepare. Again. And again. And again. Why should your mind be any different? If you only try to become calm after life becomes chaotic, you're already late. Train now. Train today. Train when nothing important is happening. Because calm is a skill, not a personality. Some people believe they're just emotional. That's an excuse. Some believe they're naturally anxious. That's a habit. Habits can change. Skills can improve. You have a choice. Every stressful moment gives you another repetition. Another opportunity. Another workout for your mind. Think of emotional control like building muscle. Nobody becomes strong after lifting one weight. Nobody becomes disciplined after one good day. Nobody becomes calm after one deep breath. Strength comes through repetition. Calm comes through repetition. Confidence comes through repetition. Everything worthwhile comes through repetition. That's the key. Now let's talk about something simple. Something powerful. Something available to you every second of your life. Your breathing. Most people never notice their breathing until they're overwhelmed. Then it's too late. Stress speeds it up. Fear shortens it. Anger tightens it. Panic steals it. Your breathing becomes shallow. Your heartbeat increases. Your muscles tighten. Your thoughts accelerate. Suddenly your body believes you're under attack. Even when you're not. The body reacts. Then the mind follows. But here's what most people never realize. The reverse is also true. Slow the breath. And the mind begins to slow. Lengthen the exhale. And the body receives a different message. The danger is passing. Relax. Think. Respond. This isn't magic. It's biology. It's training. The next time pressure appears, don't start by solving the problem. Start by controlling yourself. Take one slow breath. Then another. Then another. That's not weakness. That's leadership. Leadership begins with leading yourself. You cannot lead a meeting if you cannot lead your breathing. You cannot lead your family if you cannot lead your emotions. You cannot lead your future if your present controls you. Everything begins inside. That's the key. Here's something worth remembering. Fast emotions create slow progress. Slow breathing creates better decisions. How many arguments started because someone reacted too quickly? How many careers ended because someone lost emotional control? How many relationships disappeared because nobody paused? One moment. One reaction. One emotional decision. Sometimes that's all it takes. That's why your pause matters. That tiny space between stimulus and response. That's where your power lives. Protect that space. Expand that space. Train that space. You have a choice. Pressure also creates something dangerous. Mental noise. Suddenly your mind says, what if I fail? What if everyone judges me? What if this gets worse? What if I'm not good enough? Notice something. Almost all of those thoughts begin with what if, not facts. Possibilities. Imaginations. Stories. Your mind starts creating disasters that haven't happened. Then your body reacts as though they're already real. Stop doing that. Catch yourself. Replace imagination with observation. Ask yourself, what is actually happening right now? Not tomorrow. Not next week. Right now. You'll usually discover something surprising. Reality is often smaller than your imagination. Your fear added the extra weight. That's the key. Pressure shrinks when clarity grows. Now think about elite performers, championship athletes, military leaders, emergency surgeons, air traffic controllers. Do you think they never feel pressure? Of course they do. They're human. The difference isn't the absence of pressure. The difference is their relationship with pressure. They expect it. They prepare for it. They refuse to be surprised by it. When others panic, they simplify. When others rush, they slow down. When others complain, they execute. That is why they consistently outperform others. Not because they're fearless. Because they're trained. Calm is a competitive advantage. Remember those words. Calm is a competitive advantage. While everyone else wastes energy reacting, you conserve energy thinking. While everyone else argues, you observe. While everyone else rushes, you prioritize. While everyone else loses focus, you gain clarity. Calm wins. Again and again. Because calm allows intelligence to operate. Emotion often blocks intelligence. Calm unlocks it. You don't need to be the loudest person in the room. You don't need to prove you're confident. Real confidence doesn't shout. It doesn't perform. It doesn't seek attention. It simply remains steady. Pressure exposes fake confidence quickly. Real confidence survives silence. Real confidence survives criticism. Real confidence survives uncertainty. Because it's built on discipline, not emotion. That's the key. Now let's make this practical. The next time someone raises their voice, lower yours. The next time chaos appears, slow your breathing. The next time your phone fills with stressful messages, pause before answering. The next time you feel attacked, ask questions before making assumptions. The next time anxiety arrives, stand still instead of running mentally. Every one of those moments is training. Every one. Never waste pressure. Pressure is your teacher. Pressure reveals what still needs work. Instead of asking, why is this happening to me? Ask, what is this teaching me? That single question changes everything. Pressure stops becoming punishment. It becomes practice. Practice creates progress. Progress creates confidence. Confidence creates calm. Calm creates better results. That's the cycle you want. Most people live inside the opposite cycle. Pressure. Panic. Poor decisions. More problems. More pressure. Break that cycle. You have a choice. Every single time. Remember this. You cannot control every crisis. You cannot control every person. You cannot control every outcome. But you can always control the next breath. The next thought. The next decision. Start there. Master the next moment. Don't worry about next month. Master the next minute. One calm response. Then another. Then another. That is how emotionally strong people are built. Not overnight. Over time. Through repetition. Always through repetition. Calm is not an accident. Calm is earned. Day after day. Decision after decision. Breath after breath. That's the key. As you continue this journey, remember one powerful truth. Pressure will keep showing up. Life isn't going to become easier just because you wish it would. But you can become stronger. You can become steadier. You can become someone who walks into chaos without becoming chaotic. Someone who thinks while others panic. Someone who leads while others freeze. Someone whose greatest strength is not talent, but self-control. Calm is a competitive advantage. Never forget that. Because in the next chapter, you'll discover that staying calm is only the beginning. The real transformation happens when you learn to replace emotional impulses with deliberate choices. That is where lasting inner strength is built. Chapter 5, Replace emotional impulses with deliberate choices. There is a moment in every difficult situation that most people never notice. It is small. Almost invisible. It lasts only a second. But inside that single second, your future changes. Someone insults you. You react. Someone ignores you. You react. Something goes wrong. You react. Plans fall apart. You react. And because you reacted without thinking, you end up saying words you regret, making decisions you wish you could take back, damaging relationships that mattered, and creating problems that never needed to exist. This is how emotional impulses quietly control people's lives. Not through one dramatic event. Through thousands of tiny moments. Tiny reactions. Tiny emotional decisions. Tiny habits. They stack on top of each other until they become your personality. Then people say, "That's just who I am." No. That's who your habits made you become. And habits can change. That is good news. Because it means you are not trapped. You have a choice. That's the key. Every emotional impulse creates two paths. The first path is immediate. Easy. Automatic. React. Speak. Fight. Defend yourself. Quit. Complain. Judge. Blame. The second path requires something different. Pause. Observe. Think. Choose. Respond. One path feels satisfying for 5 seconds. The other changes your life. Respond with intention, not impulse. Remember those words. Because they will save you from countless mistakes. Imagine someone sends you a disrespectful message. Immediately your body changes. Your heart beats faster. Your muscles tighten. Your mind starts creating arguments. You begin writing the perfect angry reply. You want them to know exactly how wrong they are. You want to win. But ask yourself this. What happens after you press send? Does the situation improve? Or does it become even worse? Most emotional reactions solve nothing. They simply transfer your emotional state to another person. Anger spreads. Fear spreads. Negativity spreads. Calm spreads too. Confidence spreads too. Patience spreads too. Which one will you choose? You have a choice. That's the key. Most people believe emotions are commands. They are not. Emotions are signals. A signal deserves attention. Not obedience. Feeling angry does not mean you must speak. Feeling afraid does not mean you must stop. Feeling disappointed does not mean you must quit. Feeling uncertain does not mean you must delay forever. An emotion says something. It does not decide something. You decide. That difference changes everything. Respond with intention, not impulse. Think about a professional athlete. When pressure rises, they do not move faster because of panic. They slow their minds. They trust their training. They make deliberate decisions while everyone else rushes. The crowd sees talent. The athlete knows the truth. Composure wins. Life works exactly the same way. The people you admire are rarely the fastest reactors. They are the best decision makers. They pause. They evaluate. They choose carefully. That pause is not weakness. It is strength. Real strength. Because anyone can explode. Anyone can shout. Anyone can slam the door. Anyone can post an emotional message online. Anyone can quit when life becomes uncomfortable. That requires no discipline. But staying calm. Thinking clearly. Choosing wisely. That takes practice. That takes courage. That takes maturity. You have a choice. That's the key. Now ask yourself a difficult question. How many of your biggest regrets began with emotion? Think about it. The relationship you damaged. The opportunity you ignored. The money you wasted. The argument that never should have happened. The words you wish you could erase. Most regrets begin with one sentence. I wasn't thinking. Exactly. You were feeling. There is nothing wrong with feelings. The problem begins when feelings become your leader. Feelings make terrible leaders. They change every day. Sometimes every hour. Sometimes every minute. Imagine running a company where the CEO changes every 5 minutes. Chaos. That is exactly what happens inside many people's minds. One moment they feel motivated. The next day they feel discouraged. Then I'm confident. Then insecure. Then hopeful. Then afraid. If every feeling becomes an order, your life becomes unpredictable. Instead, let your values become your leader. Let your principles become your leader. Let wisdom become your leader. Feel the emotion. Then choose the response. Respond with intention, not impulse. Here is a habit that can transform your life. Delay emotional decisions. Not forever. Just long enough for your emotions to settle. Never make permanent decisions during temporary emotional storms. Do not quit your career because of one bad day. Do not end a relationship because of one argument. Do not abandon your dream because of one failure. Do not insult someone because of one emotional moment. Wait. Sleep on it. Walk. Breathe. Write your thoughts instead of speaking them. Come back tomorrow. Notice something amazing. Many problems disappear after time creates clarity. Time does something emotion cannot. Time creates perspective. Perspective creates wisdom. Wisdom creates better choices. You have a choice. That's the key. Another powerful habit is asking better questions. Most people ask terrible questions when something goes wrong. Why does this always happen to me? Why am I so unlucky? Why are people so difficult? Those questions trap you. They make your brain search for evidence that life is unfair. Your brain obeys. It finds proof. Now your negative belief feels even stronger. Instead, ask better questions. What can I learn from this? What part of this can I control? What response will make me proud tomorrow? What would my best self do right now? What lesson is hidden inside this problem? Notice the difference. Good questions create good thinking. Good thinking creates good decisions. Good decisions create a good life. Everything begins with the question. Your brain is like a search engine. Whatever you ask, it searches for. Choose your questions carefully. Respond with intention, not impulse. Imagine two people losing their jobs. The first says, "My life is over." The second says, "What opportunity does this create?" Same event. Different question. Different future. One becomes bitter. One becomes stronger. Life often changes because your questions change. Not because your circumstances change. You have a choice. That's the key. There is another reason emotional distance matters. Distance helps you see reality instead of assumptions. When emotions are intense, your imagination becomes loud. You assume people hate you. You assume you failed forever. You assume the future is ruined. Most assumptions are false. But emotions make them feel true. Feelings are not facts. Repeat that. Feelings are not facts. Fear feels real. It is not always reality. Anger feels justified. It is not always wisdom. Discouragement feels permanent. It is not always true. Step back. Create distance. Ask yourself, what facts do I actually know? Not what you imagine. Not what you fear. The facts. Facts calm emotional storms. Assumptions feed them. Respond with intention, not impulse. There is tremendous power in silence. Not because silence solves everything. Because silence prevents many unnecessary problems. You do not have to answer immediately. You do not have to defend yourself immediately. You do not have to explain yourself immediately. Sometimes your greatest response is no response. That frustrates emotionally reactive people. Good. Their frustration is not your responsibility. Your responsibility is protecting your peace. You don't need their permission. You don't need their approval. You need self-control. Self-control creates freedom. Without self-control, every rude person controls your mood. Every inconvenience controls your day. Every criticism controls your confidence. Every setback controls your motivation. That is not freedom. Freedom begins when you stop giving every emotion control over your behavior. You have a choice. That's the key. Now imagine yourself 1 year from today. There are still problems. Still pressure. Still difficult people. Still unexpected setbacks. But something has changed. You. Now you pause before speaking. You breathe before reacting. You think before deciding. You ask better questions. You protect your peace. You choose your response instead of surrendering to emotion. People begin noticing. You seem calmer. You don't get upset as easily. You handle pressure differently. Of course you do. Because you understand something most people never learn. Life is not determined by what happens. Life is determined by how you respond. Respond with intention, not impulse. Make that your daily practice. When someone disappoints you, pause. Respond with intention, not impulse. When fear appears, pause. Respond with intention, not impulse. When anger rises, pause. Respond with intention, not impulse. When success arrives, stay humble. Respond with intention, not impulse. When failure visits, stay steady. Respond with intention, not impulse. This is not something you practice once. This is something you practice every day. Every conversation. Every challenge. Every decision. Every setback. Every victory. Your future is built one deliberate choice at a time. Not one emotional reaction at a time. Never forget that. You have a choice. That's the key. And as you master your choices, you begin to notice something remarkable. The situations around you may not change overnight. But the person facing those situations does. That changes everything. Because once you learn to control your decisions instead of your emotions controlling you, you are ready for the next level of inner strength. Chapter 6. Turn every obstacle into mental training. Every obstacle asks you one question: will this make you weaker? Or will this make you stronger? You have a choice. That's the key. Life is constantly training you, not testing you, training you. There is a difference. When you believe life is testing you, you become anxious. You wonder whether you're going to pass or fail. You fear mistakes. You fear judgment. You fear looking weak. But when you understand that life is training you, everything changes. Training expects mistakes. Training expects discomfort. Training expects repetition. No athlete becomes stronger by lifting one weight one time. No musician becomes great after one practice session. No leader becomes confident after one speech. Growth requires repetition. Life understands this. That's why it keeps sending lessons. The problem is not that life keeps giving you obstacles. The problem is that you keep treating every obstacle like an interruption instead of an opportunity. Everything trains you. Remember those words. Everything trains you: the traffic jam, the rude customer, the delayed promotion, the unexpected bill, the criticism, the rejection, the failure, the disappointment. Everything trains you. The strongest people in the world are not people with easier lives. They are people who learn to use difficult moments differently. They stopped asking, "Why is this happening to me?" and started asking, "What is this teaching me?" That one question changes everything, because your attention shifts. Instead of searching for someone to blame, you search for something to learn. That is emotional maturity. That is inner strength, and that is available to anyone, including you. You have a choice. That's the key. Every setback can become a stepping stone. Or it can become an excuse. The decision belongs to you. Many people spend years waiting for life to become easier. But life rarely becomes easier. You become stronger. That is how progress works. Imagine someone beginning physical exercise for the first time. The muscles ache. The breathing becomes difficult. The body feels exhausted. Does that mean something is wrong? No. It means growth has started. Mental strength works exactly the same way. When patience feels difficult, you're building patience. When discipline feels uncomfortable, you're building discipline. When forgiveness feels impossible, you're building emotional freedom. Growth almost always feels uncomfortable. Comfort rarely changes anyone. Think about every major lesson you've learned. Did it come during perfect days, or difficult ones? Most people discover courage during fear. They discover wisdom during failure. They discover resilience during loss, not because suffering is magical, but because struggle forces attention. Pain asks questions that comfort never asks. Everything trains you. Never forget that. Now let's talk about failure. People fear failure because they misunderstand it. Failure is information, nothing more, nothing less. It tells you what worked. It tells you what didn't. It reveals blind spots. It exposes weak habits. It highlights poor preparation. Failure is feedback. Successful people simply listen to it differently. When most people fail, they attack themselves. I'm not good enough. I'll never succeed. I should quit. Those thoughts solve nothing. They only create another obstacle. But mentally strong people ask different questions. What can I improve? What skill am I missing? What lesson almost escaped me? That is how setbacks become teachers. Every successful person has failed repeatedly. The difference is not the number of failures. The difference is the response. You have a choice. That's the key. Never confuse temporary defeat with permanent identity. You failed. That doesn't make you a failure. You made a mistake. That doesn't make you broken. You experienced rejection. That doesn't mean you're unworthy. Events are temporary. Identity is chosen. Choose carefully. Now think about difficult people. Most people wish difficult people would disappear. But if they did, you would lose some of your greatest teachers. That sounds strange, but think about it. Who teaches patience? Patient people don't, difficult people do. Who teaches emotional control? Calm environments don't, chaotic environments do. Who teaches forgiveness? Kind people rarely require it. Those who hurt you create the opportunity to practice it. Everything trains you. Every difficult person is revealing something inside you. Maybe they expose your impatience, maybe they expose your pride, maybe they expose your insecurity, maybe they expose your need for approval. They don't create those weaknesses, they reveal them. That is an important distinction. Pressure reveals what already exists. Just like squeezing an orange produces orange juice, whatever is inside eventually comes out. Stress works the same way. When pressure increases, your habits appear, not your intentions, your habits. That is why daily practice matters. You cannot suddenly become calm during crisis if you never practiced calm before crisis. You cannot suddenly become disciplined under pressure if you ignored discipline during easy days. Everything you repeatedly practice becomes your default reaction. That's why every ordinary day matters. Every conversation, every inconvenience, every delay, every disagreement, everything trains you. Life is preparing you for bigger responsibilities, but first, it wants to know whether you can handle smaller ones. Many people want greater success, greater influence, greater wealth, greater opportunities, but they become frustrated over tiny inconveniences. How will you manage bigger responsibilities if small obstacles control your emotions? Small moments reveal big patterns. Pay attention to them. Every complaint is a signal. Every excuse is information. Every emotional reaction tells a story. Listen carefully. Your obstacles are revealing your habits. Not punishing you, revealing you. That awareness creates power. Because what you can see, you can improve. Now consider disappointment. Everyone experiences it. Plans fail, people leave. Dreams change, expectations collapse, disappointment hurts, but disappointment also strengthens perspective. Sometimes the opportunity you lost creates space for something better. Sometimes the relationship that ended protected your future. Sometimes the rejection redirected your path. You usually understand this only after time passes. Wisdom often arrives late. That's why patience matters. You don't need every answer today, you only need your next step. Take the next step, then another. Progress compounds. Not overnight, but over time. You have a choice. That's the key point. One obstacle can either become the reason you stop, or the reason you grow. The obstacle stays exactly the same, your interpretation changes. That changes everything. Let's talk about responsibility. Responsibility sounds heavy, but responsibility creates freedom. Victim thinking creates helplessness, responsible thinking creates options. A victim asks, who caused this? A responsible person asks, what can I do now? Notice the difference. Point one stays trapped in yesterday, the other begins building tomorrow. You cannot always choose your circumstances, but you can always choose your response. Again, you have a choice. That's the key. Stop waiting for perfect conditions. Perfect conditions rarely arrive. Build yourself where you are, train where you are, grow where you are. Some people delay happiness until life becomes easier. Don't make that mistake. Peace is practiced, confidence is practiced, discipline is practiced. Everything worth having is practiced. Everything trains you. The person criticizing you, training. The unexpected setback, training. The difficult conversation, training. The financial challenge, training. The lonely season, training. The uncertainty, training. Even silence trains you. It teaches reflection. Even waiting trains you. It teaches patience. Even boredom trains you. It teaches creativity if you allow it. Nothing is wasted unless you refuse to learn. That is why mentally strong people never truly lose. They either succeed, or they learn. And learning prepares the next success. Think about your own life. Look back. Which moments shaped you most? Probably not the easiest ones. Probably not the happiest ones. It was the obstacle you thought you couldn't survive. The failure you thought would define you. The heartbreak you believed would destroy you. Yet here you are, still standing, still moving, still growing. That should remind you of something. You are stronger than you think. Not because life has been easy. Because you survived difficult chapters. Honor that strength. Build on it. Don't waste it. Everything trains you. From this moment forward, stop asking, when will life stop challenging me? Instead ask, what strength is this challenge trying to build? That question changes your focus. It changes your energy. It changes your future. Every obstacle becomes useful. Every setback becomes information. Every difficult person becomes practice. Every challenge becomes preparation. Everything trains you. Say it again. Everything trains you. Point one more time. Everything trains you. Because the moment you truly believe that, obstacles lose their power to discourage you. They become part of your education, part of your preparation, part of your transformation. And once you begin seeing every obstacle as training, you'll discover an even greater source of strength, not in controlling the world, but in controlling yourself. Because the greatest battle is never outside you. It is inside you. That is exactly where we're going next. In the next chapter, you'll learn how to master your inner dialogue, the voice that either builds your confidence or quietly destroys it every single day. Chapter 7, Master Your Inner Dialogue. Lead yourself before leading your life. Your greatest conversation is not the conversation you have with the world. It is the conversation you have when nobody is watching. It is the voice inside your mind when you wake up. It is the voice inside your mind when you fail. It is the voice inside your mind when you face pressure. It is the voice inside your mind when things do not go according to plan. That voice decides whether you rise or whether you retreat. That voice decides whether you take action or whether you make excuses. That voice decides whether you believe you are capable or whether you convince yourself that you are not enough. And the truth is simple. Most people are not defeated by external circumstances. They are defeated by internal conversations. They lose battles in their own mind before they ever step onto the battlefield. They quit before they begin. They doubt before they try. They reject themselves before anyone else has the chance to. That is why mastering your inner dialogue is not optional. It is a requirement. If you want emotional strength, you must master the voice inside your head. If you want confidence, you must master the voice inside your head. If you want to handle stress, pressure, criticism, and uncertainty, you must master the voice inside your head. Because your external world is influenced by your internal world. Your actions follow your thoughts. Your behavior follows your beliefs. Your confidence follows your self-talk. Remember this: lead yourself before leading your life. Before you lead a team, lead yourself. Before you inspire others, inspire yourself. Before you control your circumstances, control your mind. That's the key. Every person has an internal narrator. A voice that explains what is happening. A voice that gives meaning to events. A voice that tells you who you are. The problem is that many people have allowed this voice to become their biggest enemy. They have a critic living inside their mind. A critic that constantly attacks. A critic that constantly compares. A critic that constantly reminds them of every mistake they have made. You made one mistake 5 years ago. Your mind brings it back. You failed once. Your mind says, see. You always fail. Someone rejected you. Your mind says, see. Nobody wants you. Someone criticized you. Your mind says, see. You are not good enough. But here is what you must understand: a thought is not a fact. A feeling is not a fact. A fear is not a fact. Your mind can create convincing stories that are completely false. And if you believe every story your mind creates, you will become trapped by your own imagination. You have a choice. You can believe every negative thought. Or you can question it. You can allow your past to control your future. Or you can decide that your future deserves a fresh beginning. You can continue speaking to yourself like an enemy. Or you can become your own strongest supporter. That choice is yours. Look at how successful people talk to themselves. They are not successful because they never struggle. They are successful because they have learned how to coach themselves through struggle. When they face difficulty, they do not say, "Why is this happening to me?" They ask, "What can I learn from this?" When they fail, they do not say, "I am a failure." They say, "I failed at something. Now I know what needs improvement." There is a massive difference. One statement attacks identity. The other statement focuses on growth. This is where many people make a mistake. They confuse an action with their identity. They say, "I failed." And they turn it into, "I am a failure." They say, "I made a mistake." And they turn it into, "I am a mistake." They say, "I am struggling," and they turn it into, "I am weak." Stop doing this. You are not your worst moment. You are not your biggest mistake. You are not your temporary struggle. You are a person who is learning. You are a person who is growing. You are a person who is capable of change. But you must speak to yourself in a way that creates growth. Because your words become instructions. Think about a coach. A great coach does not look at an athlete and say, "You are terrible. Give up." A great coach says, "You are better than this. Improve." A great coach does not ignore weaknesses. A great coach identifies weaknesses and creates a plan. This is how you must speak to yourself. You do not need fake positivity. You do not need to pretend everything is perfect. You need constructive honesty. Instead of saying, "I am lazy," say, "I have not built strong discipline yet, but I can train it." Instead of saying, "I cannot handle pressure," say, "I need to improve my ability to stay calm under pressure." Instead of saying, "I am not talented," Say, I need more practice and experience. Do you see the difference? One language creates a prison. The other creates a path. That's the key. Your words either limit you or they develop you. Your emotional state is deeply connected to your internal language. The words you use create feelings. The feelings you create influence your actions. Imagine two people preparing for an important challenge. The first person says, "This is impossible. I am going to fail. I am not ready." Their body reacts. Their energy decreases. Their confidence disappears. Now imagine another person. They say, "This is difficult. But difficult things make me stronger. I will prepare. I will improve. I will give my best." Same challenge. Different mindset. Different emotional state. Different result. Your words change your energy. Your words change your focus. Your words change your behavior. So choose your words carefully. You are constantly programming your mind. Every sentence is a command. Every belief is a direction. Every repeated thought is creating your future self. Mastering your inner dialogue does not mean eliminating negative thoughts. That is impossible. Every human being experiences fear. Every human being experiences doubt. Every human being experiences insecurity. The difference is what happens next. Weakness says, "I feel fear, so I stop." Strength says, "I feel fear, but I continue." Weakness says, "I feel doubt, so I quit." Strength says, "I feel doubt, but I move forward." Your emotions are allowed to speak. They are not allowed to control your decisions. You have a choice. Fear can be present. And you can still act. Doubt can be present. And you can still move. Pressure can be present. And you can still remain calm. That is emotional mastery. One of the most powerful habits you can build is becoming aware of your self-talk. For the next 7 days, observe your internal conversation. Notice how you speak to yourself. Notice your automatic reactions. Notice the words you repeat. Do you encourage yourself? Or do you constantly criticize yourself? Do you focus on solutions? Or do you focus on problems? Do you treat yourself like someone you want to help? Or someone you want to punish? Awareness comes first. You cannot change what you refuse to notice. The moment you become aware of your inner dialogue, you gain power over it. You stop being controlled by unconscious patterns. You become the person watching your thoughts instead of being controlled by your thoughts. Remember, your mind is a powerful tool. But every tool needs a leader. Your thoughts need direction. Your emotions need guidance. Your actions need purpose. And that leader must be you. Nobody is coming to take responsibility for your mindset. Nobody is coming to fix your confidence. Nobody is coming to change your internal conversation. You must do that. You don't need their permission. You don't need approval. You don't need someone else to believe in you before you believe in yourself. The first person who must believe in your future is you. Because before anyone else sees your potential, you must see it yourself. Lead yourself before leading your life. The strongest people are not those who never experience negative thoughts. The strongest people are those who refuse to let negative thoughts become their identity. They choose better thoughts. They choose better words. They choose better actions. They become their own coach. They become their own support system. They become mentally stronger one conversation at a time. So remember this, your inner voice creates your outer reality. Your words create your emotions. Your emotions influence your actions. Your actions create your future. Master the conversation inside your mind. And you begin mastering everything outside your mind. Because the moment you learn to lead yourself, you become unstoppable. But mastering your mind is only the beginning. Because once you control your inner dialogue, the next challenge is learning how to detach from what you cannot control. And that is where true emotional freedom begins. Chapter 8, Detach from what you cannot control. Control your effort, release the outcome. There is a battle happening inside the mind of almost every person. A battle that creates unnecessary stress. A battle that steals peace. A battle that drains energy. And the strange thing is, most people are fighting against something they were never meant to defeat. They are fighting against what they cannot control. They are trying to control other people's opinions. They are trying to control how others behave. They are trying to control the timing of success. They are trying to control the past. They are trying to control situations that were never placed in their hands. And every time they fail to control these things, they feel frustrated, angry, disappointed, exhausted. But here is the truth you must understand: your suffering does not always come from the situation. Your suffering often comes from your resistance to the situation. That's the key. The moment you stop fighting reality, you create space for strength. The moment you stop wasting energy on what you cannot change, you gain power over what you can. You have a choice. You can spend your life fighting invisible battles. Or you can redirect your energy toward becoming stronger. You can complain about the rain. Or you can build a shelter. You can argue with the past. Or you can learn from it. You can chase people's approval. Or you can build your own confidence. You can worry about the outcome. Or you can master your effort. Control your effort. Release the outcome. This is one of the most important principles of emotional strength. Because emotionally weak people try to control everything. Emotionally strong people understand what deserves their attention. They know where their power exists. And they know where their power does not exist. The illusion of control. One of the biggest sources of stress in life is the illusion that you can control everything. You cannot. You never could. And you never will. You cannot control what someone thinks about you. You cannot control whether someone understands you. You cannot control whether someone appreciates your effort. You cannot control whether every plan works perfectly. You cannot control every unexpected problem. You cannot control every person's decision. But many people spend years trying. They wake up and immediately enter a mental battle. What will people think? What if this goes wrong? What if they reject me? What if I fail? What if everything changes? The mind creates hundreds of imaginary problems. And then the person reacts emotionally to problems that do not even exist. They experience pain from situations that have not happened. They lose peace over conversations they have never had. They lose sleep over outcomes they cannot guarantee. This is the trap. Your mind tries to protect you by predicting everything. But sometimes your mind becomes your biggest source of stress. You must learn to ask yourself, is this something I can influence? Is this something I can take action on? Or am I simply worrying because I want certainty? That question changes everything. Because awareness creates separation. And separation creates control. Stop trying to control people. One of the hardest lessons in life is accepting that you cannot control other people. You can influence. You can communicate. You can support. You can encourage. But you cannot control it. And the sooner you accept this, the more peaceful you become. Many people destroy their own happiness because they expect others to behave exactly how they want. They think, if they cared about me, they would act differently. If they respected me, they would understand. If they loved me, they would choose differently, but people are not machines. Everyone has their own experiences. Their own beliefs. Their own fears. Their own priorities. Their own choices. And you have to respect that. You do not need everyone to think like you. You do not need everyone to agree with you. You do not need everyone to validate you. You don't need their permission. Remember that. You don't need their permission. You do not need permission to pursue your goals. You do not need permission to improve yourself. You do not need permission to protect your peace. You do not need permission to walk away from negativity. The moment you stop trying to control people's reactions, you become free. Because now your happiness is no longer dependent on someone else's behavior. Focus on your circle of control. There are two worlds you live in. The world you control. And the world you don't know. Your emotional strength depends on knowing the difference. The world you control includes your actions. Your attitude. Your preparation. Your discipline. Your response. Your choices. Your effort. That is where your power exists. The world you don't control includes the following: other people's opinions. Other people's decisions. The economy. The past. Unexpected events. The timing of certain opportunities. That is where your energy disappears. Strong people invest their energy where they have influence. Weak people waste their energy where they have none. Imagine having a limited amount of energy every day. Where do you spend it? Do you spend it worrying about someone's opinion? Do you spend it replaying an old mistake? Do you spend it imagining future problems? Or do you spend it becoming stronger? You have a choice. Your attention is your power. Protect it. Control your effort. Release the outcome. Acceptance is not weakness. Many people misunderstand acceptance. They think acceptance means giving up. They think acceptance means surrender. They think acceptance means saying the following: I don't care. That is not acceptance. That is avoidance. Real acceptance is much stronger. Acceptance means, I see reality clearly. I understand what happened. I accept what I cannot change. And now I choose my next move. Acceptance is not quitting. Acceptance is the foundation of intelligent action. A person who refuses to accept reality keeps fighting the wrong battle. A person who accepts reality can finally create a strategy. Your past can either become your prison or your power. Or your teacher. The choice is yours. Stop resisting reality. Life becomes difficult when your expectations fight reality. You expect people to always understand you. Reality says they won't. You expect every opportunity to work. Reality says some will fail. You expect everything to happen on your schedule. Reality says growth takes time. The problem is not reality. The problem is your demand that reality must be different. You create unnecessary suffering when you say, this should not be happening. This should have happened already. They should have acted differently. I should not have made that mistake. Instead, ask a better question. What can I do now? That question puts you back into power. Because power exists in the present moment. Not in the past. Not in the future. Now. Master your response. You cannot control every event. But you can control your response. This is where true strength is built. Anyone can be calm when life is easy. Anyone can be positive when everything works. But your character is revealed when things go wrong. When someone insults you. When plans fail. When people disappoint you. When life becomes uncertain. That is your training ground. The moment between what happens and how you respond. That moment is where your power lives. Most people lose that moment. Something happens. They react. They explode. They panic. They complain. They blame. But a disciplined person creates space. They pause. They think. They choose. They respond. That pause is strength. That pause is maturity. That pause is freedom. Final reflection. Today, make a commitment. Stop fighting battles that cannot be won. Stop trying to control what was never yours to control. Stop carrying the weight of things you cannot change. Instead, control your effort. Control your attitude. Control your discipline. Control your response. And release everything else. Because freedom does not come from controlling everything. Freedom comes from understanding what deserves your control. The strongest person is not the person who controls the world. The strongest person is the person who controls themselves. Control your effort. Release the outcome. Carry this principle into every challenge. Because when you stop wasting energy on what you cannot control, you finally have the energy to transform what you can. Chapter 9. Build emotional discipline every day. Strong reactions become strong habits. Emotional strength is not something you discover. It is something you build. It is not something that appears when life becomes difficult. It is something you practice before difficulty arrives. Most people wait until a crisis happens before they try to control themselves. They wait until they are angry. They wait until they are stressed. They wait until they are overwhelmed. And then they wonder why they cannot stay calm. But emotional discipline does not begin in the storm. It begins in the ordinary moments. It begins when nobody is watching. It begins when you choose patience instead of frustration. It begins when you choose discipline instead of comfort. It begins when you choose a thoughtful response instead of an emotional reaction. That's the key. Your emotional strength is created by the small decisions you make every single day. Not once. Not occasionally. Every day. Because your reactions are not random. Your reactions are trained. Every time you respond with anger, you make anger easier to access next time. Every time you respond with patience, you make patience stronger. Every time you avoid discomfort, avoidance becomes your habit. Every time you face discomfort, courage becomes your habit. Strong reactions become strong habits. Read that again. Strong reactions become strong habits. The person you become tomorrow is created by the reactions you practice today. You have a choice. You can continue living on autopilot. Or you can train yourself to become intentional. You can allow emotions to control you. Or you can learn to control your emotions. The difference between an emotionally weak person and an emotionally strong person is not that one feels emotions and the other does not. Everyone feels anger. Everyone feels fear. Everyone feels disappointment. Everyone feels pressure. The difference is what happens next. The emotionally weak person becomes their emotions. The emotionally strong person observes their emotion. The emotionally weak person says, I am angry, so I must act. The emotionally strong person says, I am angry, but I still choose my response. That small difference changes everything. Emotional discipline is built through repetition. Many people misunderstand discipline. They think discipline means forcing yourself to do something difficult once. They think discipline is about motivation. They think discipline is about having a perfect day. It is not. Discipline is repetition. Discipline is doing the right thing enough times that it becomes part of who you are. You do not become emotionally disciplined by reading one book. You do not become emotionally disciplined by listening to one audiobook. You do not become emotionally disciplined by having one moment of clarity. You become emotionally disciplined through practice. Every day gives you opportunities to train. Someone annoys you. That is practice. Someone criticizes you. That is practice. Something does not go according to plan. That is practice. You experience disappointment. That is practice. Life is constantly giving you training sessions. But most people see challenges as problems. Strong people see challenges as opportunities. Every difficult moment is asking you one question: can you stay in control? Can you stay calm when things are uncomfortable? Can you stay focused when things are uncertain? Can you stay disciplined when emotions are loud? That is where growth happens. Not when everything is easy. When everything is easy, anyone can perform. Your true strength appears when life tests you. Stop depending on motivation. Motivation is temporary. Discipline is permanent. Motivation comes and goes. Some days you feel inspired. Some days you feel tired. Some days you feel unstoppable. Some days you want to quit. If your actions depend on your emotions, your results will always be unstable. Because emotions change. They are designed to change. You cannot build a strong life on something that changes every hour. You need something stronger. You need discipline. Discipline says, I do this because it matters. Not, I do this because I feel like it. Emotionally strong people do not wait for the perfect feeling. They act according to their values. They keep promises they make to themselves. They follow through. They show up. Even when nobody celebrates them. Especially when nobody celebrates them. Because the biggest victories are often invisible. Nobody sees you controlling your anger. Nobody sees you choosing patience. Nobody sees you walking away from unnecessary conflict. Nobody sees you choosing growth over comfort. But you see it. And every time you keep a promise to yourself, your confidence grows. That's the key. Confidence is not created by thinking positively. Confidence is created by proving to yourself that you can trust yourself. Small victories create massive transformation. People often underestimate small victories. They think change requires a dramatic moment. They think they need to completely transform overnight. They think success happens through one massive decision. But real transformation happens through small victories repeated consistently. One calm response. One disciplined choice. One moment of patience. One decision to not react. One decision to continue. These moments seem small. But they are building your identity. Every action is a vote for the person you want to become. When you choose discipline, you vote for a disciplined identity. When you choose patience, you vote for a patient identity. When you choose control, you vote for an emotionally strong identity. You are constantly becoming someone. The question is, who are you becoming? Are you becoming someone who reacts instantly? Or someone who thinks carefully? Are you becoming someone controlled by emotions? Or someone who controls emotions? Are you becoming someone who gives up when things become difficult? Or someone who becomes stronger through difficulty? You have a choice. Every single day. Consistency beats intensity. One of the biggest mistakes people make is trying to change everything at once. They create unrealistic goals. They try to become a completely different person overnight. Then they fail. Then they feel disappointed. Then they quit. But lasting change does not come from intensity. It comes from consistency. A person who practices emotional discipline for 5 minutes every day will eventually become stronger than someone who tries once a month with extreme effort. Small actions repeated become powerful. A river does not cut through rock because it is powerful for 1 second. It cuts through rock because it continues. Again. And again. And again. Your emotional discipline works the same way. Every time you practice patience, you become more patient. Every time you practice calmness, you become calmer. Every time you practice self-control, you become stronger. Strong reactions become strong habits. Your brain learns from repetition. Your identity is shaped by repetition. Your future is shaped by repetition. So stop searching for the perfect moment. Stop waiting until you feel ready. Start practicing today. Train your emotional muscles. Your emotions are like muscles. If you never train a muscle, it becomes weak. If you train it consistently, it becomes stronger. Your emotional muscles include the following: patience, self-control, resilience, focus, confidence, calmness. And just like physical muscles, they require resistance. You cannot build patience without situations that test your patience. You cannot build resilience without challenges. You cannot build confidence without moments that require courage. The things you want to avoid are often the things that build you. The difficult conversation. The uncomfortable decision. The stressful situation. The unexpected failure. These are not signs that you are failing. They are opportunities to train. The next time something frustrates you, remember, this is training. The next time someone challenges you, remember, this is training. The next time life does not go according to your plan, remember, this is training. Because everything can either break you or build you. The difference is your response. Create rules for your emotional life. Strong people do not rely only on willpower. They create rules. Rules make decisions easier. You need emotional rules. For example, I will not respond when I am extremely angry. I will take time before making important decisions. I will not let one bad moment ruin my entire day. I will focus on solutions instead of complaints. I will protect my peace. These rules become your foundation. Because emotions are powerful. And during emotional moments, your judgment becomes weaker. That is why you need principles before pressure arrives. Do not create your values in the middle of chaos. Create them before chaos. Decide who you want to be. Then practice becoming that person. Discipline creates natural confidence. Confidence is not something you wait for. Confidence is something you create. Every time you control yourself, you prove something important. You prove, I can handle difficult situations. I can trust myself. I can stay calm. I can make better decisions. That proof creates confidence. Not external approval. Not compliments. Not attention. Real confidence comes from self-respect. And self-respect comes from keeping promises to yourself. When you constantly react emotionally, you lose trust in yourself. You start thinking, why do I always do this? Why can't I control myself? Why do I keep repeating the same mistakes? But when you practice discipline, something changes. You begin believing in yourself. You become someone you can depend on. And that is powerful. Because the strongest relationship you will ever have is the relationship with yourself. Chapter 10, Protect your peace relentlessly. Protect your peace like your future depends on it. Your peace is not something you find. Your peace is something you protect. Many people spend years trying to achieve success. They chase money. They chase recognition. They chase achievements. They chase approval. But they forget one important truth: if you lose your peace, everything becomes heavier. Success without peace feels empty. Achievement without peace feels exhausting. A life filled with everything you wanted can still feel overwhelming if your mind is constantly disturbed. That is why protecting your peace is not selfish. It is necessary. Your peace affects your decisions. Your peace affects your relationships. Your peace affects your health. Your peace affects your future. And the world around you will constantly try to take it from you. There will always be distractions. There will always be negativity. There will always be people who bring chaos. There will always be situations designed to test your emotional control. The question is not, will life challenge my peace? It will. The real question is, will I allow everything to take my peace away? That is where your power exists. You have a choice. You can allow every comment to disturb you. You can allow every problem to consume you. You can allow every person's opinion to control your emotions. Or you can decide, my peace belongs to me. My attention belongs to me. My energy belongs to me. Protect your peace like your future depends on it. Because it does. Your attention is your most valuable resource. Your attention is one of the most powerful things you own. Where your attention goes, your energy follows. Where your energy goes, your life follows. Think about that. Your life is not only shaped by your actions. Your life is shaped by what you repeatedly focus on. If you constantly focus on negativity, negativity becomes your reality. If you constantly focus on problems, problems become your identity. If you constantly focus on what is missing, you stop appreciating what exists. Your attention is a direction. And every day, you are choosing a direction. The problem is that many people give their attention away without realizing it. They wake up and immediately check what other people are doing. They scroll through endless negativity. They consume opinions from people they do not even know. They allow strangers to influence their emotions. They spend hours thinking about situations they cannot change. Then they wonder, why am I mentally exhausted? Because your mind is carrying things it was never meant to carry. Your attention is limited. Your emotional energy is limited. Your time is limited. You cannot give unlimited access to everything and everyone. That's the key. Everything you allow into your mind has a cost. Every conversation has a cost. Every relationship has a cost. Every piece of information has a cost. The question is this worth my peace? Ask yourself that question more often. Before responding. Before arguing. Before engaging. Before allowing something into your mind. Ask, is this worth my peace? Because sometimes the strongest response is no response. Sometimes the smartest decision is walking away. Sometimes protecting your peace is choosing not to participate. Stop feeding unnecessary drama. Drama is expensive. It costs your time. It costs your energy. It costs your focus. And many people are addicted to it without realizing it. They constantly enter unnecessary arguments. They constantly explain themselves to people who do not want to understand. They constantly defend themselves against opinions that do not matter. They constantly react to situations that deserve silence. You must understand something, not every battle deserves your attention. Not every comment deserves your response. Not every person deserves access to your emotions. Emotionally strong people know this. They understand that every reaction is an investment. And they invest carefully. Imagine someone throws a small rock into a lake. The lake does not become angry. The lake does not fight the rock. The lake absorbs it and continues flowing. Be like that. Not everything deserves a reaction. Not everything deserves your energy. Not everything deserves your peace. You have a choice. You can become a person who reacts to everything. Or you can become a person who chooses what deserves a response. That is emotional maturity. Stop explaining yourself to everyone. One of the biggest mistakes people make is trying to convince everyone. They want everyone to understand their choices. They want everyone to approve their decisions. They want everyone to see their intentions. But here is the truth, not everyone will understand you. And that is okay. You do not need everyone to understand your journey. You do not need everyone to agree with your decisions. You don't need their permission. Remember that. You don't need their permission. The people who truly support you will not require endless explanations. And the people committed to misunderstanding you will not be convinced by endless explanations. So stop wasting your energy. Build. Improve. Grow. Let your results speak. Your peace is more valuable than proving yourself to someone who has already decided not to listen. Create healthy boundaries without guilt. Many people lose their peace because they have no boundaries. They say yes when they want to say no. They accept disrespect because they fear conflict. They allow people to repeatedly cross limits. Then they wonder why they feel exhausted. The answer is simple: you cannot protect your peace without boundaries. A boundary is not an attack. A boundary is not rejection. A boundary is not selfishness. A boundary is clarity. It is saying, this is what I accept. This is what I do not accept. This is how I choose to be treated. Strong boundaries create healthy relationships. Weak boundaries create resentment. And remember, saying no to something that drains you is saying yes to something that strengthens you. You do not have to feel guilty for protecting yourself. You do not have to apologize for needing space. You do not have to explain why you choose peace. Protect your peace like your future depends on it. Because your future is built on your energy. Distance yourself from constant negativity. Your environment shapes you. The people around you influence your thoughts. The conversations around you influence your mindset. The energy around you influences your emotional state. This does not mean you avoid every difficult person. Life does not work that way. But it means you become intentional. Pay attention. Who makes you stronger? Who constantly drains you? Who encourages growth? Who encourages excuses? Who challenges you positively? Who pulls you into negativity? You must become aware. Because you cannot build a peaceful life while surrounding yourself with constant chaos. Sometimes protecting your peace requires distance. Not anger. Not revenge. Not hatred. Just distance. You can wish someone well and still choose not to give them access to your life. That is maturity. You can care about someone and still protect yourself. That is wisdom. Learn the power of silence. Silence is one of the strongest forms of emotional control. Weak people believe they must respond to everything. Strong people know when silence is more powerful. Silence prevents unnecessary conflict. Silence protects your energy. Silence gives you time to think. Silence creates space between emotion and action. When someone tries to provoke you, silence can be strength. When someone misunderstands you, silence can be confidence. When someone wants your reaction, silence can be freedom. Not every situation needs your voice. Sometimes your peace speaks louder than your words. Remember, a calm person is difficult to control. A peaceful person is difficult to manipulate. A disciplined person is difficult to break. Protect your morning and evening. Your peace is influenced by your daily habits. The first moments of your day matter. The last moments of your day matter. Do not start your morning by allowing the world to enter your mind immediately. Do not wake up and consume chaos. Create space. Think. Reflect. Plan. Protect your mind before the world demands your attention. At night, do not carry every problem into tomorrow. Release what you cannot solve. Learn from what happened. Prepare for what comes next. Your mind needs recovery. Your emotions need recovery. Your peace needs recovery. Rest is not weakness. Rest is preparation. Your peace is your responsibility. Nobody else is responsible for protecting your peace. Not your friends. Not your family. Not your environment. You are responsible. Because only you decide what receives access to your mind. Only you decide what receives your attention. Only you decide what deserves your emotional energy. You have a choice. Every day. Every conversation. Every situation. You can protect your peace. Or you can surrender it. Choose wisely. Final reflection. Your peace is your foundation. Without peace, everything becomes harder. Your decisions become emotional. Your focus becomes weaker. Your relationships become heavier. Your future becomes uncertain. So make a commitment today: I will protect my peace. I will guard my attention. I will choose my battles. I will set boundaries. I will stop giving my energy to things that do not deserve it. Remember, protect your peace like your future depends on it. Because it does. The strongest people are not those who avoid problems. They are the people who remain peaceful while facing problems. They understand that peace is not weakness. Peace is power. Your attention is your life. Your energy is your future. Protect both. Because when you protect your peace, you protect the person you are becoming. Chapter 11, Make patience your greatest strength. Slow is often strong. The world teaches you to rush. Everything around you is designed to make you impatient. You want faster results. You want immediate success. You want instant answers. You want quick recognition. You want everything to happen now. But here is the truth most people do not want to accept: the things that matter most in life take time. Strength takes time. Confidence takes time. Mastery takes time. Success takes time. Personal transformation takes time. And when you refuse to accept this truth, you create unnecessary suffering. You start questioning yourself. You start comparing yourself. You start believing you are behind. You start making emotional decisions because you cannot tolerate waiting. That is where many people destroy their own progress. They quit too early. They change direction too quickly. They abandon goals because results did not appear fast enough. They sacrifice long-term success for short-term comfort. But strong people understand something different. They understand that patience is not waiting. Patience is how you behave while waiting. That's the key. Anyone can be patient when everything is going well. Real patience appears when progress feels slow. When results are invisible. When nobody notices your effort. When you are doing the work, but the reward has not arrived yet. That is where your character is built. That is where emotional strength is created. You have a choice. You can let impatience control your decisions. Or you can develop the discipline to trust the process. You can chase every opportunity because you are afraid of missing out. Or you can commit deeply to what matters. You can demand instant results. Or you can build something that lasts. Remember this: slow is often strong. The danger of emotional urgency. Many mistakes in life are not caused by a lack of intelligence. They are caused by a lack of patience. People make decisions when emotions are too high. They react before thinking. They quit before understanding. They speak before considering consequences. They move before they are ready. And later they regret it. Most regrets begin with emotional urgency. Think about it. How many arguments happen because someone responded too quickly? How many opportunities are lost because someone gave up too early? How many relationships are damaged because someone acted from anger instead of understanding? How many dreams disappear because someone expected success overnight? The problem is not emotion. Emotion is natural. The problem is allowing emotion to become your decision maker. A strong person feels emotions. But they do not let emotions control the steering wheel. They create space. They pause. They think. They evaluate. They choose. That pause is where wisdom lives. Because the first feeling is not always the right feeling. The first thought is not always the right thought. The first reaction is not always the right action. Patience gives you something powerful: perspective. When you slow down, you see more clearly. When you slow down, you make better decisions. When you slow down, you protect your future from temporary emotions. Slow is often strong. Stop looking for instant results. One of the biggest weaknesses in modern society is the desire for instant gratification. People want success without the struggle. They want knowledge without learning. They want confidence without facing fear. They want achievement without sacrifice. But life does not work that way. Everything valuable requires investment. A tree does not grow overnight. A strong body is not built from one workout. A successful career is not created from one decision. A meaningful relationship is not built from one conversation. Everything important requires repetition, consistency, patience, time. The problem is that people only see the final result. They see the successful person. They see the achievement. They see the recognition. But they do not see the years of invisible effort behind it. They do not see the failures. They do not see the doubts. They do not see the moments when that person wanted to quit. Success has a hidden season. A season where you are building before anyone notices. A season where you are improving before anyone celebrates. A season where you must continue without external validation. That season requires patience. Because the hardest part of growth is often continuing when progress is not obvious. But remember, invisible progress is still progress. Trust consistent progress. Many people underestimate little progress. They think if they are not achieving something massive, they are failing. But transformation does not happen through one giant action. It happens through small actions repeated consistently. One page read. One skill practiced. One healthy decision. One disciplined habit. One improved reaction. Little progress creates big results over time. Think about a person who improves 1% every day. At first, the difference seems invisible. But after months and years, the gap becomes massive. That is the power of consistency. Consistency beats intensity. A person who works consistently will eventually outperform a person who relies only on motivation. Because motivation disappears. Discipline remains. Patience allows discipline to work. Without patience, people quit before the results appear. They plant the seed. They water it once. They do not see a tree. So they walk away. But nature does not work that way. Growth happens beneath the surface before it becomes visible. Your life works the same way. You may not see the results yet. But that does not mean nothing is happening. Trust the process. Keep building. Keep improving. Keep moving. Slow is often strong. Patience creates better decisions. A patient person has an advantage. They are not controlled by urgency. They do not need immediate answers. They do not panic when things are uncertain. They can think strategically. This matters because your biggest decisions shape your future. The career you choose. The people you trust. The opportunities you accept. The risks you take. These decisions deserve patience. Do not choose a path because you are afraid of being behind. Do not enter relationships because you fear being alone. Do not chase success because you want to prove something. Do not make permanent decisions based on temporary emotions. Give important decisions time. Ask better questions. What is the long-term impact? Will this decision help the person I want to become? Am I choosing from wisdom or from fear? Patience gives your future a voice. Without patience, your present emotions control your future. And your future deserves better than that. Build emotional endurance. Great achievements require emotional endurance. You cannot build something meaningful without facing uncertainty. There will be moments when you question yourself. There will be moments when progress feels slow. There will be moments when people doubt you. There will be moments when you feel tired. This is normal. The difference between successful people and unsuccessful people is not that successful people never struggle. They struggle differently. They continue. They adapt. They learn. They remain committed. They understand that discomfort is part of the process. Emotional endurance means staying committed when excitement disappears. Because motivation is strongest at the beginning. Everyone is excited when they start. Everyone feels inspired during the first week. But the real test comes later. When the excitement fades. When the results are delayed. When the journey becomes repetitive. That is where patience becomes your greatest strength. Stop comparing your timeline. Impatience often comes from comparison. You look at someone else's success and question your own progress. You think, they are ahead. I should be further. I am running out of time. But comparison destroys patience. You are comparing your behind the scenes with someone else's highlight. You are comparing your beginning with someone else's years of experience. Everyone has a different timeline. Everyone has different circumstances. Everyone has different lessons to learn. Your responsibility is not to match someone else's journey. Your responsibility is to honor yours. Focus on your path. Focus on your improvement. Focus on your effort. You have a choice. You can waste energy comparing. Or you can use that energy for creating. The person who focuses on growth always moves forward. Learn to be patient with yourself. Many people are patient with others but cruel toward themselves. They forgive others for mistakes. But they punish themselves endlessly. They expect themselves to change immediately. They expect themselves to master everything quickly. They expect perfection. But growth requires compassion. Being patient with yourself does not mean accepting weakness. It means understanding that improvement takes time. You can hold yourself accountable without destroying yourself. You can demand growth without demanding perfection. Remember, you are becoming. You are learning. You are building. Give yourself the time required to become who you want to be. Final reflection, patience is not passive. Patience is power. It is the ability to stay committed when results are delayed. It is the ability to remain calm when answers are unclear. It is the ability to continue when nobody is watching. Remember, most regrets begin with emotional urgency. Most achievements require emotional endurance. Most meaningful transformations require time. So slow down. Think clearly. Trust your process. Continue building. Because slow is often strong. You have a choice. Chapter 12, Become Unshakable from Within. Inner strength cannot be taken, it must be built. There is a level of strength that most people spend their entire lives searching for. A strength that does not depend on circumstances. A strength that does not disappear when things become difficult. A strength that remains even when people criticize you. Even when plans fail. Even when life becomes uncertain, this is the strength of being unshakable from within. Most people believe strength comes from controlling the outside world. They think they will finally feel confident when they have more money. When they receive more recognition. When everyone respects them. When everything goes according to plan. But that is a dangerous way to live. Because if your confidence depends on external things, your confidence can always be taken away. If your peace depends on people's approval, someone can take your peace. If your happiness depends on perfect circumstances, any problem can destroy your happiness. You become controlled by things you cannot control. But there is another way. A stronger way. A more powerful way. You build yourself from the inside. You create a foundation that does not collapse when life becomes difficult. You develop emotional stability. You develop self-control. You develop confidence that comes from knowing who you are. That's the key. The strongest person is not the person who never faces challenges. The strongest person is the person who remains themselves during challenges. Anyone can be calm when life is easy. Anyone can feel confident when everything is working. Anyone can feel powerful when everyone supports them. But what happens when support disappears? What happens when things do not go according to plan? What happens when nobody believes in you? That is when your foundation is tested. And that is when inner strength matters. Remember, inner strength cannot be taken. It must be built. Stop searching for stability outside yourself. One of the biggest mistakes people make is searching for internal peace through external achievements. They think, when I become successful, I will finally relax. When people respect me, I will finally feel confident. When I achieve my goals, I will finally be happy. But the problem is simple, external success cannot fix internal instability. A person without inner strength can have everything and still feel empty. A person with inner strength can face difficulty and remain peaceful. The difference is not the situation. The difference is the person. Your environment will always change. People will change. Opportunities will change. Your circumstances will change. Life is movement. Life is uncertain. If you need everything around you to stay the same before you feel okay, you will always struggle. Because life does not promise comfort. Life promises change. The goal is not to create a life where nothing goes wrong. The goal is to become someone who can handle whatever happens. That is real confidence. That is real freedom. You have a choice. You can spend your life trying to control the world. Or you can spend your life mastering yourself. The first option creates anxiety. The second creates strength. Confidence comes from self-control. Many people misunderstand confidence. They think confidence comes from being praised. They think confidence comes from being admired. They think confidence comes from proving themselves. But real confidence is much deeper. Real confidence comes from self-trust. And self-trust comes from self-control. When you know you can control your reactions, you trust yourself. When you know you can handle difficult situations, you trust yourself. When you know you can keep promises to yourself, you trust yourself. Confidence is not built by convincing yourself you are great. Confidence is built by showing yourself that you are reliable. Every time you choose discipline over comfort, you build confidence. Every time you choose patience over anger, you build confidence. Every time you choose action over excuses, you build confidence. You are collecting evidence. Evidence that says, I can handle this. I can adapt. I can overcome. That is where real confidence comes from. Not from outside approval. Not from attention. Not from comparison. From within. Master your emotions before they master you. Emotions are powerful. They influence your decisions. They influence your behavior. They influence your relationships. But emotions were never designed to be your leader. They are signals. They are information. They are experiences. But they are not always instructions. Feeling angry does not mean you must act angry. Feeling afraid does not mean you must avoid the opportunity. Feeling uncertain does not mean you should quit. A strong person understands this. They do not deny emotions. They manage emotions. They do not pretend they never feel pressure. They learn how to perform under pressure. That is emotional mastery. Emotional mastery means, I feel this emotion, but I choose my action. I experience this feeling, but I control my response. I acknowledge my emotions, but I do not become controlled by them. That is power. Because the person who controls themselves cannot easily be controlled by others. Become calm in the middle of chaos. Life will test you. There will be unexpected problems. There will be disappointments. There will be moments when your plans fail. The question is not whether these moments will come. They will. The question is, which center will you become when they arrive? Will you become overwhelmed? Will you become reactive? Will you lose control? Or will you stay grounded? A calm person has an advantage. They can think clearly. They can make better decisions. They can see opportunities that panic hides. Chaos affects everyone. But chaos does not have to control everyone. The difference is internal stability. A person with inner strength can stand in the middle of uncertainty and say, I can handle this. I will find a solution. I will not allow this moment to define me. That mindset changes everything. Stop giving circumstances power over you. Your circumstances are real. Your challenges are real. Your problems are real. But they do not have to control your identity. A failure does not mean you are a failure. A mistake does not mean you are incapable. A rejection does not mean you are worthless. A difficult season does not mean your future is destroyed. Never confuse what happened with who you are. Your circumstances describe your current situation. They do not define your potential. You are bigger than one moment. You are bigger than one mistake. You are bigger than one opinion. Remember, external events lose power over an internally stable person. The storm can exist outside. But peace can exist inside. That is the goal. Not controlling the storm. Controlling yourself during the storm. Build your inner foundation daily. Inner strength is not created during emergencies. It is created before emergencies. Your daily habits build your future emotional strength. How you speak to yourself. How you handle discomfort. How you respond to problems. How you treat your commitments. These things are building your foundation. Small actions create strong identities. Every day you have opportunities to practice strength. Wake up when you say you will. Complete the task you promised yourself you would complete. Have the difficult conversation you are avoiding. Stay calm when someone tries to provoke you. Choose discipline when comfort is easier. These moments may seem small. But they are creating something powerful. They are creating self-respect. And self-respect creates inner strength. Release the need to be perfect. Being unshakable does not mean you never struggle. It does not mean you never feel fear. It does not mean you never make mistakes. It means you recover. That is the difference. Strong people are not people who never fall. Strong people are people who know how to stand back up. Do not demand perfection from yourself. Demand commitment. Do not demand that you never experience difficulty. Demand that you keep growing through difficulty. Progress is the goal. Growth is the goal. Becoming stronger is the goal. You are not trying to become emotionless. You are becoming emotionally powerful. Protect your inner peace. Your inner peace is your responsibility. Do not hand it over to people. Do not hand it over to circumstances. Do not hand it over to temporary situations. Protect it. Because your peace affects everything. Your decisions. Your relationships. Your health. Your future. A peaceful mind creates better choices. A chaotic mind creates emotional decisions. This is why inner strength matters. It gives you control when life tries to take control away. You have a choice. Every day. Every challenge. Every moment. You can return to your center. You can choose calm. You can choose strength. You can choose wisdom. Final reflection. You have reached the final lesson. But this is not the end. This is the beginning of a different way of living. You no longer have to be controlled by every emotion. You no longer have to be controlled by every opinion. You no longer have to be controlled by every circumstance. You can choose your response. You can protect your peace. You can build your confidence. You can strengthen yourself from within. Remember, external events lose power over an internally stable person. Confidence comes from self-control. Emotional mastery creates resilience. True strength is remaining peaceful regardless of conditions. And above everything else, inner strength cannot be taken. It must be built. Build it through your choices. Build it through your discipline. Build it through your reactions. Build it through every difficult moment you overcome. Because when you become unshakable from within, the world may challenge you. The world may test you. But you will remain standing. Calm. Focused. Powerful. Conclusion. Everything you've heard comes down to one simple truth: you cannot always control what happens to you. But you can always train how you respond. Every pause instead of panic. Every calm breath instead of anger. Every thoughtful response instead of an emotional reaction builds a stronger version of you. The goal isn't to eliminate emotions. The goal is to stop becoming their prisoner. Remember, your circumstances don't define your future. Your reactions do. Starting today, choose awareness over impulse. Choose discipline over emotion. Choose peace over chaos. Because the moment you master your reactions, you unlock a level of inner strength that nothing and no one can take away.